Business Lexington is made possible by the Keeneland Association, offering the finest in thoroughbred racing each April and October, along with auctions 4 times yearly in Lexington, Kentucky. By the law firm of Bowles Rice. By Smiley Pete Publishing, Lexington's community media company at smileypete.com.
When the Alltech FEI World Equestrian Games opens on September 25th of 2010, it will be the first time the event has been held outside of Europe, as well as the first games in which competitions for all 8 disciplines are held at one single site, the 1,200 acres of the Kentucky Horse Park just outside Lexington. Organizers anticipate many thousands of visitors in the area over the course of the games, and to get a sense of what to expect and how plans are progressing, I talked with John Long, CEO of the United States Equestrian Federation and chairman of the World Games Foundation.
A lot has been accomplished. I think if you look at the horse park, and if you've driven out there recently, you can see that it's a giant construction zone. With a new indoor arena and the outdoor stadium literally gone. I think organizationally, much has been accomplished. We've got a first-class management team. We've got some of the best consultants in the world that are used to working in big game environments, everything from security, traffic, parking, planning. We have a hospitality consultant that we brought on board a couple of months ago who is just finishing up work in Beijing. We've identified the consultant that will be working with us on the opening and closing ceremonies. He did the Pan Am Games in Rio this past year. He's also just coming back from Beijing. We'll be doing the Olympics in Vancouver in 2010. So we've really, I think, been able to round out the organization with a very sophisticated and experienced batch of consultants, and then a crackerjack management team from within. And I think we're really, really well prepared to enter into this last 2 years as things are really going to quicken up as we get to the finish. When we look at the horse park, we see all kinds of opportunities which did not exist before as a result of the construction of this new indoor stadium predominantly. The horse park has not been able to be competitive with places like Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Albuquerque for many of the breed and western shows that occur over the winter months, simply because the horse park hasn't had a temperature-controlled facility to host them. So with this new arena, and it will be absolutely terrific when it is finished, it will be able to bid and compete for those competitions that they have not been able to chase before. The outdoor arena, to have 6,500 or so permanent seats, expandable, which we will be doing for the games, to in excess of 30,000, will be another great opportunity to bring events that either were too small or too large to the horse park during summer months. Maybe the biggest thing of all to the horse lover and to the competitor is the quality of the footing that has been put into both the Walnut Arena, one of the current training arenas where there are competitions that are held, and that will be going into the new outdoor. It is state-of-the-art. It's as good as anything that the Olympics have seen, and that kind of footing will be here at the horse park as well. So all of those things, possibility of new restaurants, a new hospitality, new entry, new signage, it's going to look like a brand new horse park by the time we get to this time of year from now.
How have relations been between the foundation and the city? Are you working closely together?
The way forward is that we have an understanding now about what the responsibilities of the city are to the city, what the foundation's responsibilities are to the horse park, and as we sort out these responsibilities into into piles, we won't cross over each other. We will know what each is responsible for and what we can rely on the other to do.
There have been some big numbers thrown out by various people, ranging from 500,000 people or tickets, that's very unclear, to 900,000 people / tickets over those 16 days. Can you clarify that for us? Are we looking at people or tickets here in terms of those big numbers?
The numbers really have to do with the tickets and the number of tickets that will be available. The accurate number is in the neighborhood of 600,000. There will be about 450,000 seats, ticketed seats available. And we estimate that there'll be about 150 general admission tickets that will be available. So the sum of those two is right about 600,000 tickets that will be made available for purchase.
We have two considerable entities that are relying fairly heavily on the private sector for support. Of course, in this economy and even in good times, that pot is limited. How are you working that out so that you're not working at cross purposes for sponsorships and that kind of thing?
Well, we're actually in the very early stages of discussions with the city on how we could do that together. It's not the economic situation that we thought we were going to be in three years ago when we bid on the games. It's certainly not the situation that we thought we were going to be in 2+ years ago when we won the bid. Everything looked wonderful. The stock market was great. There was life after the dot-com burst, and we were ready to reload our 401ks and retire early. That's not the situation today. And so it's forced us to be a little bit more creative and to walk away from some of the plans that we had early on. There was really lots of discussion and thought, and in fact hope, that the foundation would be able to land multi-million-dollar sponsors in a variety of different categories, that the largesse as a result of having the games here and those sponsors would be able to assist the city and the region in their efforts. And I think we all now are under the very clear assumption that we have to do things differently. And so we will get there, but we will get there in a completely different way.
I'd like to turn to your trip to Hong Kong during the Olympics and how that experience informs your thinking now in planning for the World Equestrian Games, and maybe a message from that experience to the city of Lexington as it prepares.
I have an opportunity to travel a lot of places throughout the world, and if I go into a place that I've never been before, you're always a little bit nervous. Will I find my bag? Will I get in the right line to get through immigration? How will I get through security? How will I find a taxi? And for those of us that had not been into Hong Kong in such a large environment, large group before, we had a lot of those concerns. But getting off the plane, there was no way to get lost. You didn't have to walk 20 feet before you could find someone that was dressed in the Olympic garb, identifying themselves as someone as part of the organizing committee that spoke 9 different languages that could tell you exactly where you needed to go. So we actually got off the plane, through security, picked up the bags, got through immigration, and were in the taxi cabs in probably 30 minutes. So that airport experience, that very, very first experience for people coming in from all over the world was absolutely breathtaking. And when I think about that, I think that